Welcome to Paris. We just arrived in Paris a few hours ago, and we had a bit of a harrowing journey, which we're going to share with you. We are sitting here in our hotel room. We are staying at the Hotel de Seine, and it is Tuesday, July.
Easy for you to
Tuesday,
say. That tells you a little bit about what we've been through.
June 12th. We've been up for how many hours approximately?
Well, let's see, it's 5:30 here now, so that would be 11:30 back home. So we've been up about 30 straight hours.
Well, we left for the airport at a little after 12 o'clock noon,
Right.
and our flight was delayed.
Well,
An
just
hour
getting
and a
to
half.
the airport was
Oh.
an adventure.
Yeah, let's start there. Just getting to the airport was
So
an adventure.
there's been predictions of torrential rain in Florida all week this week, and you may still be getting it, I'm not sure. But it rained on and off in the morning on Tuesday morning, and we thought, okay, so it's raining, we'll just drive. And most of the rain was supposed to be from us south, and we were driving north to Orlando. So we get in the car, and all of a sudden it's like pouring, like can't see, like 30 miles an hour rain. And then it was on and off all the way to Orlando. And at one point it was so bad that it was like almost stopped. And then we got this warning that traffic was stopped 10 miles ahead because there was an accident. And now we're starting to think, okay, is this going to jeopardize what time we're going to get there? Because
We didn't know the flight was delayed at that point.
right, and if you think about where the Orlando airport is, to go from Vero Beach to Orlando, you go through a lot of nothing. So if you're stuck on the highway, there's not a lot of places to get off and find your way a different way. But I noticed the first warning that they said the accident was in the right lane, so I stayed in the left lane the whole way. And as we got to it, our GPS didn't tell us to do anything different than what we were doing, so we kept doing it. And we slowed down to maybe 20 miles an hour as we went through the accident.
Maybe.
But it was a horrific accident. Somebody had rolled over multiple times and was in the woods, and not
On its
just
side.
not just in the woods on the side of the road. They were 50 or 60 yards into the woods.
Embedded into
Yeah.
the woods with the car on its
I'm not sure
side.
how they even got out of the car because it was semi-surrounded by branches and trees, right?
But it was only a 2-minute delay.
Yeah, it was only a 2-minute delay because we were in the right lane. And anyway, so, but a somewhat harrowing trip. And then we get to the remote parking, and then it pours the worst of all. And
So bad.
And the remote parking isn't covered.
No.
And we have to get out of the car to get to the bus. And the bus, if it doesn't know you're there, and this is the largest parking lot. I've been in stadium parking lots that aren't as big as this one. But I saw a guy go by in a golf cart in that rain, and I beeped at him, and he got the bus to come to us. So I got wet. KJ got a little wet.
I luckily at the last minute, right before we left the house, I thought, let me just grab my little raincoat, the one that I have that's like a waist. I was planning on getting, or I'm still planning on getting, a long raincoat. I've been saying this like the last 3 times we've come here. I've seen these raincoats and I've said I'm going to get a raincoat, and I never get it. So this time I'm getting a longer raincoat, but at the last minute I grabbed it, and I'm so thankful that I did, because that really saved me. I would have been completely soaking wet.
Meanwhile, it was raining so hard that the roof of the bus leaked into the bus. That's how hard it was raining. So, but actually they handled us really well.
They did. They were great.
And we got to the airport, and of course we were told that the flight's delayed an hour and a half, and we only have an hour and a half window changing planes at Heathrow to come to Paris
To get our connection.
To get our connection. So now we're thinking, okay, we're going to miss our connection. But the good news is that the airlines always have this big buffer of time, and that is nothingness time, especially on long flights. And generally, when you're flying from west to east across the Atlantic, you gain time. And we ended up gaining almost all of it back, and got to Heathrow and changed planes. Now, the Heathrow airport is gigantic, just gigantic.
Huge.
I'll tell you how big it is. Via the tram, it took 19 minutes per their clock, 19 minutes to get from one terminal to another. That's how big it is. So we got to it. We didn't think that we had to go through security again, but we did. And security in England is much, much harder. Like, they have to put even if it's a legal little bottle of shampoo, every single one you've got, they have to put it through a machine, and you're supposed to separate it. We didn't know any of this.
It was terrible.
So meanwhile, now we're losing time, and we're within 10 minutes of the flight, and actually on the board it's saying the flight's closing. So
I start crying.
And at that
Literally.
at that moment, where we were in line, I was ahead of KJ, and KJ had this bag of jewelry and another bag of things with liquid in them.
Wait, don't make it sound like I have this like whole big bag of jewelry. I had a little bag inside the big bag of jewelry.
She had this trunk steamer full of jewelry. But anyway, the point being is they had to inspect all this stuff.
Everything.
And I'm like, if we have to wait until she's done, we're missing the flight. And the next flight was like 6 hours later. So I said, I'll go ahead and I'll have them hold the flight. And so I ran ahead, and the woman who was doing the checking our stuff was not a friendly person. And she said, "Oh, it's no big deal. There's not many gates."
And the gate's closed.
Yeah.
The gate was not closed.
The gate was,
The gate was
a
not closed at
solid
all.
quarter of a mile to half a mile away. In fact, there was a mall before the gates even started. So I run. KJ gets done, and then she starts to run.
I catch up to you pretty much.
Yeah, because you've got wheels and I don't.
Yeah. And
so when we're maybe 200 yards from the gate, there's a flight attendant screaming, "Fosters!" And I'm like, yeah!
We're waving, we're here!
So we were the last people on the plane, and our luggage didn't make it.
So we don't have our luggage.
So we got to Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris, and we thought, well, why wouldn't our luggage have made it? Because there was still like an hour and 10 minutes time in between landing and taking off, and the luggage didn't go with us when we were having all those problems. It should have been getting put on the new plane, but apparently it didn't.
Well, because I think they had already anticipated that we would have to take, because originally they didn't know how much time they were going to be able to catch up.
Or be delayed even.
Right.
Totally.
So because of the rain, they were looking for a window with the torrential rain and lightning.
Lightning, yeah.
It was the worst weather that we've ever flown in. And so I think in my app, they had already booked us, or were trying to book us on a later flight, but that flight didn't leave until 7 hours later, so we would have been stuck in the Heathrow airport for 7 hours before we would be able to get on a plane.
Imagine us being stuck in that mall with all high-end stuff.
Yeah,
well, it wouldn't have been that bad.
Oh, I don't know about that. But anyway, we made the flight, but the luggage didn't make the flight because I think they tagged the luggage to go on the
next flight.
The next flight.
Yeah. So here we are.
Without our luggage.
Having worn the same clothes for 2 days.
So this is the first time that we've ever flown Virgin Atlantic. I think you've never... I asked Tony because he's done a lot of traveling before we ever met.
I'm not sure Virgin was even in business back then.
Right. So it's the first time. We usually fly United.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't have too much interest in flying them again. Very, very uncomfortable seats. And we were upgraded, not to first class, but we were upgraded. and they should have been better than that.
Yeah.
The service was.
The service wasn't bad.
It
The
wasn't
service-
bad, but
I
it was
liked their snacks.
very, very strict. Very strict.
They were. They checked everyone's seatbelts.
Yeah,
They
every-
unplugged things, like if you were charging your phone.
Yeah, and they lifted up blankets to look and make sure that you're. They did it over and over and over again. It was a little bit excessive, but it's hard to argue on the side of safety, right, or against safety.
Well, and that's what they did in security. They
Sure.
were just so detailed with what they were doing, and she even made a comment when we said, we didn't understand that we had to take out. Typically in the U.S., when they say take out liquids, it means like water or a drink.
If it's more than 3.5 ounces,
Right.
right? But
they took out every little bottle of liquid, like
Yeah.
everything, like makeup.
so, but the other thing is Heathrow Airport, just in general, it's so hard. We'd be going, we're not travelers to England, so we'd be changing planes if we're flying to Heathrow, right? So no matter what, we're going to have this problem of getting from one terminal to another, probably, and we're going to have to go through security. Then. When we leave to go back home, we have to go through there again. That's going to be an experience.
Well, I would just recommend, based upon our experience, we usually fly United. We usually book it straight through United. I booked a package through Expedia to save some money, and I thought, we've never gone through Heathrow before. That might be nice to fly Virgin Atlantic, and then we connected to Air France. Let's see what that's like. Well, now we know. We live and learn. We would recommend not doing that.
The unfortunate thing for us, I think Paris is, for me, it's my favorite city in the world. I think it's one of the most popular tourist destinations, top 3 probably.
Yeah.
I can't understand why there isn't a direct flight from Orlando to Paris. There is from Orlando to London. There's a lot of people,
Right,
a lot of English people that go to Disney World. We have to either fly to New York or the New York area or Washington and then cross over, or we do what we did here, fly to London and then change planes.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't a good experience, and the movies were really old. There was not anything that was fairly recent. It just was not great.
Well, let's look at the flip side, though, because there's always a different perspective. There's always a different way to look at things, right?
So you know where we're going, or at least where KJ's going with this. What do you think the first thing we did when we landed here? We went shopping.
Well, Air France gave us money. They gave it, well, they didn't give it to us yet, but they told us that we could spend 120 euros each on getting whatever we need because we don't have our luggage. So I don't have any clothes, nothing. They gave us these refresh packs, they call them. So Tony got one, I got one. We haven't opened it yet, so we're gonna open it and share with
This
you.
is like opening Al Capone's vault.
What's in it? I
Ooh, a t-shirt.
I can't get mine open.
A t-shirt. I wonder if they know
a
that.
white t-shirt.
Ooh, it might fit me actually.
Okay,
A
that's
razor.
delightful for you, but
Well, that's an extra large. We
I'm
can
not going to
swap.
be. Maybe I'll wear this to bed
I think is this.
since I don't have any pajamas.
Is that tea? Do you think? Face cream.
Green? No, it's a towelette. It's with
okay.
green
Look
tea.
at that toothpaste. Look how that toothpaste.
A
looks.
razor, toothpaste,
Toothbrush, a comb.
toothbrush, comb.
Not sure what this is.
I don't know. So they gave us
This-
some shaving cream.
No,
Shaving cream.
yeah, I don't have that
Yeah.
one.
So this is
so
what we got.
I think you have the man's and I have the woman's.
Maybe. Anyway, so we have the refresher pack. We had the 120. We don't have it, but we're we have a document that says we can spend 120 euros. So I went and bought an outfit at Zara as soon as we got here. Tony went to Uniqlo, and we're just hoping and praying that our luggage is on that flight that arrived at 5:30, and that we're going to get our luggage tonight. Because if we don't get our luggage tonight,
remember, we came here for KJ's birthday, which is tomorrow.
And
we have a really nice dinner set up at a place that we're supposed to be dressed up for.
And neither one of us have nice clothes, and we're a wreck right now because we've been traveling. But I want to go back to the positive, because think about everything that happened. It was torrential downpour not when we left the house, but before we left. Then it cleared up, then it started raining again. The traffic delay was only 2 minutes. It could have been a lot worse than that.
We could have been involved in it.
The shuttle bus picked us up right at the car, and we didn't have to wait more than a couple of minutes before they picked us up. We an hour and a half delay, but that wasn't really a big deal. Otherwise, the flight was a little turbulent, but it got us there in time to catch our connection. And even though it was a little emotional for me, we made the flight and we got here, and we didn't have to spend 7 hours in Heathrow Airport. We got to spend those hours here in Paris, and our room is lovely.
It's very, very nice. But I got to say one more. I'm sorry to be negative.
One more criticism.
Where the Orlando airport's Wi-Fi is horrible, like horrible. And
it was fine for me. I'm just saying, it was fine for
me.
me.
Most of the plugs didn't work.
That's true.
Most of the USB ports didn't work, and it's not that old of an airport. It was just very, very shoddily run.
Okay.
So
back to the positive. We got 120 euros each to go
Come
buy.
on.
Come on, it's nice. It's something. We don't have to spend.
It's something. But
it's something if we get our luggage.
I got this.
It's something.
Doesn't this look great?
Stop. If we get our luggage tonight, it's going to be a win. So we're just hoping and praying that we get our luggage tonight, and I don't have to go out and buy something else to wear for my birthday dinner, even though that won't be horrible if I have to, and you have to go buy something to be dressed up a little. So that all in all, we're here.
Yeah, we're here.
We're in Paris, and we're celebrating my birthday tomorrow, and I'm super excited. And we're going to Le Procope. I'm probably saying that wrong. It's the oldest restaurant in Paris.
I think,
oldest, right?
I think 1600s it dates back to.
Yeah.
It's on an alley that looks like it used to be like where the horses just went up and down in the old days, but now I guess it's kind of a road, but you can't. 2 cars would never fit on it, and one big car might struggle. So, but the food's great. We've been there before.
Super excited.
Yeah.
To go there, celebrate my birthday.
We're looking forward to that. And by the way, when we came to the hotel and checked in, and then went out shopping, the moment we started walking around, all that other stuff that happened in the last 36 hours just kind of disappeared. And now we can talk about it and laugh about it. We weren't laughing.
We weren't
18 hours ago, or even 7 or 8 hours ago. So, but we survived it, and a lot worse things could have happened.
And we'll keep you posted about our luggage.
All right. See you soon.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Au revoir.